Hello. As some of you may be aware, in September I completed a 78-mile hike across Scotland along the Great Glen Way. I walked from Fort William to Inverness over 7 days, and I wild camped most of the journey. Last year took its toll on many people, both physically and mentally, and my motivation for doing this walk was looking after myself, and I'm grateful for the support of my family for allowing me to do this. I spent several months planning, buying equipment, and watching many YouTube videos to see what was required on a walk like this. So I've put together these highlights, which I hope you enjoy watching now. First of all, I'm going to cover a little bit about the gear that I took with me, and then I'm going to move on to the part chronicling the adventure itself. I hope you enjoy it. So here's the gear that I'm going to be taking with me. I've got my sleeping bag, my tent, my inflatable mattress and pillow, which I'm going to need for a good night's sleep on my journey. I've got my clothing. It's likely I'm going to need to wash something or maybe use a laundrette along the way, but I've got enough to keep me going, as well as some waterproofs, which are going to be extremely important in Scotland. Food-wise, I've got some main meals there which I can cook on my camping stove. I've also got some wraps that I'm likely to be having for lunch, then a selection of porridge and cereal bars for breakfasts. I've also got some snacks to eat along the way, and probably most importantly some tea bags there with powdered milk. Also a hip flask there which will help on those cold dark nights, I'm sure. I'm also taking with a first aid kit, compass, map and a guidebook. I've got some toiletries, some creams and medicines, and hopefully I won't need too many of those. Some electronics, the usual things, sort of torches, power packs, etc. As it's Scotland, I'm going to need a midge repellent and a head net as well, just in case. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but I've got those just if required. I've got a little trowel there in case I need to dig myself a little toilet, and some toilet paper. I'll skip over that quickly. And then I've got water carrying. So again, that's going to be very important. A little water filter there in case I can't find a handy little tap. I've then got what I'm going to be carrying with me on the day, so obviously the clothes I'll be wearing, a little bum bag will just be easier to access from the front with things like the phone, wallet, sanitizers, face mask, etc. And then obviously the bag itself. And here's the bag, fully loaded. With water it weighs about 17 kilograms or 37 pounds. It's a little bit heavier than I would have liked, but as it's my first attempt at wild camping, I wasn't going to spend too much money on all the ultralight gear. But it should have everything I need to be comfortable and dry, hopefully, over the next week or so. So yeah, let's see. And so here I am at the start of the Great Glen Way. Arrived in Fort William on the overnight sleeper train about 9:30 this morning. I had a little wander around, grabbed a little bit of brunch. But yeah, time for procrastinating is over. I'm going to have to start this walk. It's a little bit cloudy, so you can't quite see Ben Nevis, the highest point in the UK, there behind the clouds somewhere. Maybe I'll save that for another day. But yeah, here I am in the old Fort William. I guess you know what they say, it's better to burn out than to fade away. Just arrived at one of the first landmarks along the trail. This is Neptune's Staircase on the Caledonian Canal. It takes over an hour and a half for boats to complete passing all 8 locks that comprise this. It's a pretty amazing feat of engineering. Just arrived in Gairlochie on the end of the first day. It's about 5 o'clock. Feeling pretty knackered, didn't get much sleep on the overnight train, but still had a lovely day. Did manage to have a nice lunch at Corpatch Locks. Managed to see Ben Nevis in a break in the clouds, see Neptune's staircase, and now looking forward to finishing the setup. I've still got to pump up my air mattress and then maybe having a bit of food and crashing pretty early tonight. So been some beautiful scenery, stunning along the Caledonian Canal. Lots to see, and yeah, a really good day, but certainly very, very tiring. I think all in all about 10 miles on the trail completed today, although I had certainly spent a while in Fort William itself having a wander around, so probably ended up adding a few more miles there that I'm certainly regretting now. But here we are, end of day one, and yeah, let's bring it on. Right, that's the first night complete of my wild camping adventure. Feeling pretty good, slept pretty well, although I was woken up at 5 o'clock by some ducks who decided to have a party outside the tent. But what can you do? So camping here at Gairlochie Locks. I don't know if you can see behind me here, there is a little cabin which you can hire a key for from the Caledonian Canal, which gives you access to a number of these facilities along the canal. So I was able to have a shower this morning and use the toilets and make sure I did all my washing up as well, so that was all pretty good. Behind me is the start of Loch Lochy, and that's where I'm going to be walking today. Alongside that, about 14.5 miles according to my map, so that one's going to be a bit of a stretch, but hopefully with the bag being a little bit lighter today after eating some food last night, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. One of the key tenets of wild camping is that you leave no trace. It's a phrase that you'll hear a lot. The idea is that you don't leave anything behind, you use the land and then leave it as it was before. So no fires unless there's a designated place, use camping stoves, all that good stuff. And as you can see here, this is what remains of my pitch from last night. My bag is packed, my poles are out, and yeah, 9:30 in the morning and ready to start walking. So I do have a slight confession this morning. About 3 o'clock in the morning I woke up feeling a bit thirsty, so I reached out in the dark and grabbed a bottle, took a large swig, and found out it was my whiskey rather than the water I was hoping it to be. So it was both pleasant and a bit of a shock at the same time. But yeah, just make sure if you've got a bottle handy that you know which what's in it. Could have been much worse. There's a boat coming through the lock now. I think they made it just a little bit late to get through last night, so they're coming through now first thing in the morning. There's loads of water activities here on the Caledonian Canal. The group that I was wild camping next to, they're all rowing down in canoes. Sounds like a nice way to do the journey. I don't fancy it myself though. I don't like boats and I don't like water. I'm a man, not a fish. I need to keep walking. It's a long distance to be covered today, but it's difficult not to just stop and listen to the sounds of nature. The clouds rolling off the top of the hills. The water lapping against the shoreline here. Stunning. So night 2, this is my second campsite. I'm here just on the banks of Loch Lochy in Lagan. It's been a hard day, a long walk through the forest, probably the longest distance, 14.5 miles I need to do in one day, and the feet are definitely feeling it. When I packed up this morning everything was a bit wet, so just letting it dry a bit before I set up camp, but there's talk of a a pub on a boat, perhaps not too far away. So hopefully I can pop in there this evening and warm up just a little bit. Cheers. So day 3, this is me done at Lagan Locks. Another good night of sleep. Hopefully today won't be as wet as it was yesterday, although the wind is promising to pick up a bit, so I need to watch out for that. But yeah, had a lovely chat last night with a few paddlers who were making the journey. And we'll see what happens. So a couple of miles in, I'm here at Invergarry railway station. It doesn't look too busy, although I think if I were waiting here for a cheeky shortcut I might be waiting here for a while. Most of my walk today is going to be along disused railway line, along Loch Oich. I hope I got the pronunciation right. But yeah, and then the target for the end of the day is either Kitcher Lock or Fort Augustus. Just see how we're feeling at the end of this. Just stopped here halfway along Loch Oich at Leitfaun, which is a little rest site where there's some toilets, another wild camping spot if anybody fancies it here. Just giving the feet a bit of a rest as well, a bit of an airing. Wait for the boots to dry from yesterday, but another slice of heaven here. So calm, peaceful and beautiful. So I've made it to Fort Augustus. At the moment there is one very big ship trying to get through the lock here. Seems to be going very slowly, but this is the way, I suppose. Had a lot of problems with blisters today. Really on the verge of debilitating. So I think tonight I am going to see if I can find a hostel or a B&B somewhere to rest up and see what condition my feet are in tomorrow for the continuation of the walk, hopefully. But yeah, just almost at the halfway point, and everything else seems to be okay, just blisters on the feet, so fingers crossed. So a little status update. At the end of day 3 I'm in a little B&B in Fort Augustus. It's been a difficult day. There's a couple of blisters that sort of came up about lunchtime. I tried treating them, put a plaster on, but they still got worse over the course of the day, right on the soles of the feet and making it extremely difficult to walk. So, a little bit gutted. I've been having an amazing time so far, bumped into so many friendly people on the trail, whether or not they were walking, cycling, paddling. Very gutted not to be out in the wild this evening, but it is what it is. I'm hoping a good night of rest, some proper food, etc. gives me a chance to recover. I've picked up a few extra plasters from the supermarket in town, and some new insoles for the shoes. Pretty much anything I can do to throw at it to make them walkable, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Right then, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling refreshed at least. I've treated my feet this morning. They're still not great, but I'm comfortable that I can carry on, see how we go there. Today's walk is from Fort Augustus to Inverness. I might try and see if I can go a little bit further, find a nice wild camping spot, just because, although it's supposed to be a short walk today, the next couple of days then it might be slightly longer again. So any progress that I can make while the feet are in an okay state is going to be for the best. Weather's not looking too great. It's going to be starting to get a little bit windier, a bit more rain, but I've got the gear to cope with that, so I'm not worried. But if I do need to stop again and stay in a B&B or a youth hostel, then so be it. For me, this walk is about the walk itself. The overnight wild camping was definitely a bonus, but this isn't a cheat day. This is doing what I need to do to make sure I finish. So fingers crossed. Right then, well, hopefully next time I open up the camera, we'll be looking over the beautiful Loch Ness and getting some points for anybody who can spot the monster. Okay, here's the first decision of the day. Do I take the high road or the low road? Trying to avoid reinforcing cultural stereotypes, but yeah, I know definitely the feet would rather I took the low road, but the views on the high road apparently promise to be spectacular. So, who wants to live forever? So walking through the woods here on the high route, time's not too bad so far, touch wood, but it feels almost like you're in a Tolkien novel. You've got the amazing haunting trees with the wind rustling through, the mushrooms, the peace, tranquility, the babbling of a small waterfall just around the corner there. Honestly, feels like there isn't another person for miles around. Onwards and upwards. It's probably a bit windy to talk, but the views of Loch Ness from here certainly don't disappoint. A little cloudy, a little misty, but I think that just adds. And we'll see what goes up must come down. So now I'm coming down the section of the high route. It's pretty steep in places, so just have to take it slow and careful. Not feeling too great as well. It's been something I ate down in Fort Augustus, so gosh, this is hard, extremely hard, but we're still here, we're still on it, and we'll see how far we can get. I've made it to Inverness. Definitely a very windy day today, and not me, before you say anything. Walked the high route, managed to see some spectacular views of Loch Ness, and managed to get down here mid-afternoon. I looked at the options for wild camping, but most of them involved going up another high route, and certainly I wasn't in position to do that today. So in a hotel again, which is fine. Doing what I have to do to finish the walk, and certainly as Inverness is getting closer, I'm feeling more confident now about being able to make it. So that's certainly bringing a smile to my face. But for now, I've just got tomorrow to look forward to, which is a 13-mile hike up another big hill to Drumnadrochit, which is one of the best sounding Scottish places I've come across yet. But other than that, and I'm desperately hoping to be able to camp tomorrow night. So even if it's in a campsite, I want to be back out there. All this living inside, it's far too warm for my liking. So fingers crossed, I'll next time I make one of these videos, it will be in a dark and dingy tent. Speak to you tomorrow. Right then, good morning all. After waking up feeling great this morning, starting up the hill, it's a decent climb out of Inverness to get to another point where I have to choose between the high road and the low road. I really wanted to take the high road. It's got some amazing views, although probably not in these weather conditions. The view catcher is going to be a highlight. I hear it's almost like a kind of magic to see it up there, but I'm conscious that it's going to be strong winds and persistent rain this morning, and I'm just a little bit concerned about getting isolated at the top there. So I'm going to take the safe decision. I'm going to take the low route. A little bit of a shame, but getting completed is my priority now. So yeah, hopefully we'll still be able to see some stunning views once the rain passes and the clouds clear. So yeah, going to be a tough morning, but very much looking forward to reaching Drumnadrook by the end of today. It's definitely been wet and miserable this morning. Managed to find a B&B that was open where I was able to get a nice cup of tea and a good break, wait for the worst of the rain to pass. So now continuing on this so-called low route, although judging by the climbing that I've been doing it doesn't seem that low, but yeah, every now and then I feel a little bit low and something happens that gives me a second wind, and definitely feeling that right now. Looking forward to reaching Drum in a few hours. So after some good walking, I managed to just quick check where I was and realised that I've taken a wrong turn. Now to double back would be to add another mile or so onto the journey. So according to the map, this path carries on and meets up with the path in a couple of miles. In the meantime, I'm walking through what can only be described as the darkest woodland that I have ever seen. If I don't make it out alive, God knows what creature in here has taken me. But yeah, hopefully catch you again on the other side. Right, I had to scrabble down a bank, but it looks like I'm back on the trail. Not this time, Kurgan. Not this time. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what I do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, boots? So I've made it to Drum. Another long day. It's about 14 miles. And I've made it to the Borlam Farm campsite. Not too busy. A few other people around. I thought it'd just be a good opportunity to show you what the tent looks like on the inside. I've had to switch into my night clothes already. My day clothes are soaking wet, so I'm going to see if I can find a dryer somewhere. Yeah, you can see there by the state of those boots, it's all been a little bit wet today. But yeah, got here is a sleeping pad, pillow with a buff on it for a bit of extra comfort, sleeping bag, the bag that's been my lifesaver over the last week or so, and then all the bits that I need, my clothes, my food, my cooking equipment, toiletries, electronics, and my first aid kit, which has come in very handy. So I think it's a two-person tent technically. It's struggled to squeeze two people in with any sort of gear loading, but it's been pretty good for me. No complaints, and yeah, weather it should be fine tonight, come rain or shine. But yeah, first things first, need to see if I can get the clothes dry, and then I'll be cooking tea this evening. Day 6, all packed up, ready to go. Woken up at 5 this morning with some what sounded like heavy gales, but thankfully they've all cleared up now. I think that's what lies ahead of me today, hopefully not all the way up. We're going to pop into Drum, see if I can find somewhere with a nice cup of tea. Weather's not supposed to be too bad today, just a bit drizzly. Yeah, 2 days to go. Get in there, get in there. Walking out of Drum, the sun is out, it feels fantastic. Once again, the area opens up into some wonderful, fantastic views of Loch Ness. Bit of a hill climb this morning, but I'm feeling well up for it. Stunning views, as always, once the cloud goes out of the way, that is. Right then, made it to the top of that little climb. 250 metres doesn't sound that much, but when you're carrying a heavy pack that's fully laden with about 3 litres of water at the moment, yeah, it was pretty good going. But a bit more of a walk now through the woods. About 6 miles to go for the day. For good progress. Right then, I've made it to my final destination for today. A mere 9 miles, and I'm here at the Abriacan Eco Cafe and Campsite. Apparently their lemon cake is legendary, so hopefully I'll be able to try a slice. And yeah, get set up with the tent. And one last night under the stars. Okay, so I've had some tea, I've had some cake, I'm all pitched up. Day 6 is just about over. You know what that means? There can be only one day left. Really looking forward to the final leg tomorrow, another 11 miles ish into Inverness and the end of the Great Glen Way. I'm sure I'll do some thinking about it on the way, but it's been an interesting journey so far. I'm very much looking forward to finishing it now. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, day 7, destination Inverness. All packed up and ready to walk the 11 miles and finish my journey. Looking forward to it, even the weather's not going to keep me down today. Sadly going to miss the Highlands. It's a harsh environment in places. But it's wonderful just to escape reality for a while. Certainly left its mark on me. I really am getting close to the end. I think that's my first glimpse of Inverness. Should be just over 4 miles away now. As luck would have it, I seem to have found a brand new blister this morning. Used the last of my plasters on it, so yeah, 4 miles to go. Can't be helped. Less than a mile to go. It's getting close. I'm really looking forward to a wash and some clean clothes. Thankfully I planned ahead and sent a small bag to the B&B that I'm staying at tonight. But yeah, just heard a bagpipe in the distance. Definitely feels like Inverness. So close. Here we are, Inverness Castle. I can't believe I've done it. I've made it to the end of the Great Glen Ways. So there we have it. There's definitely the quickening of my pace towards the end there, even up the hill, but with Inverness Castle in the background. My journey, my adventure, my expedition over the last week is finally over. I'm going to see if I can find somewhere where I can get a nice drink and have a rest. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, most of the time. But if you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to let me know. Cheers.